Well, hello everyone. It's like you're talking about. It's like Matthew number 8. It's like you're talking about. It's like you're managing, say you're handling your money. It is, and it was most people probably think about. Is like if you were to think about. It's like maybe it's like if you were say you say you qualify the word of saying it is of course is like if you were like approved as like what you call is a credit card. It is if it's a credit card or a debit card, anything like that. It's like the similar thing that you would use as like for a let's say a a sheet of line paper. It is with the line paper. It's like that which I went ahead and took off of a notepad. It is, but it's like type of note that you can maybe remind yourself. It's like talk about it. It's like if you were to do the math. It's like talking about. It's like with the math. It's like for number 4. It's like knowing about with me is like a pick number 4. It's like an example. Is knowing about is that the number to remember by is like if it's what you call maybe 4 times in a row that you tried or anything like that, knowing about whichever one that's going to help you pass the test, whichever one it is, like for the perfect score it is. But knowing about it is like you had the time you wonder. It's like it comes for for that question. It is knowing about. It's like exactly about why is it that you have to be 18 or older, of course, to order something or to do something, manage that open up, activate a credit card or a charge card or anything like that, any type of card, a spending card it is. And as far as I know, I don't think you have to have that, for like a gift card it is, but for like a credit card it is, why you have to be 18 or older or maybe 21 or something like that older. Yeah, and then I think the reason why, I guess, because knowing about it's like if you are an actual adult it is, and then of course knowing about I guess the rules of the policy it is for most with most businesses companies that knowing about that they don't want any young kids you say of opening up an account and of course spending more than what they have, and of course if they don't have any background check it is. But a lot of ways that you probably think about with credit history that you probably check your background credit history and then knowing about how good the credit score is. And a lot of times it's like with me that with my experience I could probably say that yeah, that there are some times to where that it's like you may run out of money. It's like at times it's like you may run a little bit low on money of course at times, but then on the other hand too that knowing about it's like that if you were to run out of money, of course work it out where you can pay it back later on. Of course this could be related to maybe say talking about maybe a few other countries of course, but it's like if you have like what you call maybe a pocket pocket full of change. It's like, hey, what can I get for this right here? It's like you want to take a step back. It's like this is what you're going to get. It's like you're only going to get maybe maybe a little ride in a shopping cart, and then that's about it. But other than that you have right here is the typical things that I usually see like on one of those TV shows. It is knowing about. It's like what you call for for gold. For like a coin like this. It's like this coin right here, which represents like for $1. It is. It's like for the coin, and a lot of times you could probably think about that with coins that they may change the design of how they're made and stuff with the coins and stuff, and then of course with the designs. But then more likely that one thing that will not change is more likely is maybe the way that you're handling the money. It is knowing about that really that for what it said on the papers, of course, is like knowing about for what it said on the papers. Like you're the one who agreed to the paperwork, of course, so you deal with the problem. But other than that, is talking about really about the fact about hey, whose responsibility is it? Like knowing about it's like that knowing about it's like whatever your allowance is talking about that's what you would have to pay. It's like for talking about for an agreement through the company it is. But then right here is talking about if we were to do say is the math. Is like talking about with the math right here is that if we were talking about if we do our homework, maybe maybe not every day, but then on the other hand too that if you're talking about if you were to do the math that it's like talk about, it's like we say go ahead and turn it on here, but if we say it's like 8 see times 8 8 see times 8 plus 2, it's say equals, it's like for 66, something like that. For 2 times, maybe for 2 weeks or so, is to make a payment, and then of course after that, and then of course it goes from like 8, due amount of payment of say 8%. It's like how you calculate it, of course on a calculator it is. But on the other hand too, that knowing about is like that whenever if you were to be managing your money, it is opening up you say if it's a credit card, or it could be any type of account. It is knowing about how you manage your money. It's pretty much to say it's like just looking about the experience and knowing about it's like how much money you think this was worth, this is worth. And on the other hand too, knowing about your experience of knowing about it's like what makes you say that it gives you wings and want to fly around, or whatever you call it. But other than that, is talking about right here is like that that particular trick is knowing about. It's like the right answer. It's like knowing about that. They say for the right answer between 4 and 8 is knowing about that. That you think you'll be able to memorize how much you owe. If it's like so far as if you owe like $300 or $400, maybe $500 to say on a car payment, it is to say, do you want me to write that amount down for you? It's like so far with $500, and you're probably thinking about that. How am I? It's like, do I need to go ahead and do like what you call a math problem? It is so far as like write it down on your shirt and you'll be able to work it out, huh? You'll be able to memorize it. Write it down on your shirt. It's like you got a pencil. It's like, hey, okay, write it down on your shirt and you'll be able to remember it. About knowing about what the payment, we'll work out the payments. But other than that, is talk about if we were to do the math, is say go with 500 plus maybe I don't know, 10%. I guess we do the math right. Is like about 500 plus 10%, something like that. If we do the calculation, is knowing about that. That if we talk about between 4 and 8, is it talking about that? Do those numbers go up for a reason, or the fact about knowing about depending on what your deposit is that whenever we work up, whenever we get paid what you call our allowance, and then knowing about the fact about how much you are willing to pay compared to what you can agree on. More likely you could probably think about is knowing about why you have to be 18 in order to do a lot of this stuff. Because other than that, knowing about that, that if one of those kids were to think about it's like, well, guess what, it's like knowing about it's like I don't know about you, but if I have a credit card, it's money I can spend on anything I want, huh? Not necessarily. It is money that, of course, you earn from your hard work, and then, of course, with honesty and knowing about the policies. But other than that, is talking about what you said with the policies, and knowing is like knowing about to say it's just a smart decision. So far, as we've got to say, is for Matthew number 8.